Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Magda.
And I'm Cruz.
And I hope everyone's doing good today.
Yes.
Let's do it a little bit different this time because I always say I'm curious.
No.
We're going to be talking about a topic that can probably be a little bit heavy
Or
on some
triggering
people.
or something.
Yeah. Specifically in regard to like family dynamics and how toxic situations can unfold. And as a family member, whatever role you play in the family dynamics, sometimes we protect certain people that are behaving in a toxic way, and why we do it.
I mean, sometimes, jumping right into it, sometimes we don't even know we're protecting the family members until we see the situation from the outside, like some other person tells us, and we're like, oh, yep, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's pretty common in Hispanic households?
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's very common. I feel like there's like a lot of loyalty when it comes to family. It's just maybe the fact of being blood, like you can't betray your own blood. So,
Where do you feel like that comes from? And like as far as like in Latino,
like in
households?
the culture, like I don't know. I feel like it's like something we're born with, to be honest. Like desde chiquitos, like growing up together. It might be cousins or uncles and or siblings growing up together. You're like, they have my back. I don't know. Maybe it's just a thought process. Why do you think?
I feel like it is that. I feel like it's brought down through generations. And I feel like it's like stigma, culture stigma, because even there's a saying like, ¿qué va a decir la gente? You know, if God forbid there's an abuser in the family. And I feel like a lot of the times Hispanic family members will try to brush things under the rug because they have like a certain image that they want to portray. And I feel like sometimes maybe it comes from like the system. I don't know if that makes sense. Like the system when it comes to like back in the day, I feel like it was a lot there was a lot of pressure to keep a certain status. Like having a certain status meant you could get in certain rooms. You got a certain respect. You got certain benefits when it comes to like money or political opportunities and stuff. Respect. You know, it was just like
it's a very big thing.
Like a status symbol, you know, like having a unified family, a perfect family, or whatever. And it's crazy because I feel like I tell this to Darian all the time that I feel like Latino families are kind of stuck in the 1940s dynamic where like the woman's supposed to cook and clean,
stay home, and then the father's supposed to go to work.
Yeah. And it was all like, oh, you know, we're a perfect family. There's no trauma. There's nothing bad going on here. When in reality, like, being honest, I feel like that's the thing. I feel like I like being honest with myself and with people when it comes to dynamics like that. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. And we're bound to mess up in certain situations. But I feel like the magnitude of someone messing up and are they breaking the law? Are they breaking, you know, are they hurting people? And what do we do to speak up? How do we speak up? You know, I feel like there's so many layers to it.
Or do you even speak up?
Yeah.
Because I feel like going back to like the family thing, how you said in our families we might have like abusers, narcissists, machismo, and all this kind of stuff, and we still we cover it up, but at the same time we do it without even realizing it. How like Mexico right now, especially with what's going on with the violence, I feel like we cover it up. We cover it up because some families know they have family members in gangs and stuff like that, and we still just choose to ignore it and not acknowledge it or report it when they know they are harming our society. I feel like that also plays a factor with like covering up for our families.
Oh yeah. And I feel like they make up excuses, you know? And honestly, like, I do not like that saying where, like, blood is thicker than water or something like that, I think, or la familia or something, like family over everything, because it shouldn't be that way, in my opinion. It shouldn't be that way because, like you said, sometimes there are family members that we know as in the family that they're doing something wrong. And I feel like we try to protect them. And honestly, like, it's so important. And I know it's easier said than done to speak up and call them out, report them. Because we were talking about it before, we started the podcast. What triggered this thought was because there was we were listening to a Crime Junkie episode about this lady that was in like a severe situation, life-threatening situation. Like, she literally got attacked by this guy, and there was so much evidence pointing to like, like, this guy is at fault, right? The lady ended up escaping, and the family, like, obviously there was charges pressed and stuff, but the family of the guy of this person that did this abuse, this, crime, the family was still protecting that guy. Like, literally, like, protecting them in denial of
the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like we do see that a lot in Hispanic households, and I don't know, I feel like I'm conflicted. Honestly, being completely honest, I'm conflicted about this subject. Because I'm telling you all this, Cruz, and I feel like there has been certain situations in my family dynamic where I haven't spoken up. But I feel like in my situation, it is a little bit trickier, just because, well, let me say this. I spoke up to a certain extent, as much as I could go to speak up. And the reason I say that is because a lot of this stuff is out of my control. A lot of this stuff, well, certain things I can't talk about yet. And I don't know when I can talk about it, actually. I know I'm like speaking very generic.
No.
But
because it's at the same time we're speaking, but we don't want to give out any names or anything like that too. So
yeah, and I feel like that's why it's
tricky.
It is. It's tricky, and even when it comes to tricky situations, I feel like it's important to talk about. Because I feel like the American culture, at least from what I've experienced, is very individualistic. If that's a word. And what I mean by that is, like, I feel like American culture focuses a lot on me as a person independently and not as a unit. Because if you think about it, when it comes to small towns in like Mexico, there's like everybody knows everybody kind of situation. Like, the lady that sold you the chicken, the lady that sold you the pepinos, the cucumbers, the veggies, whatever, and everybody, like, you're like, oh, tú eres la hija de no sé quién, like, you're the daughter of so-and-so, like, and I feel like it is more, like, the Hispanic culture, it is more family-oriented than I feel like the American culture, because even think about it, when it comes to our elders, Hispanics don't be putting their elders in senior homes. But Americans do. Usually Hispanics will, like, they maybe take turns
taking care of
watches them. Who takes care of that older relative. But, like, I don't think there's a lot of senior homes in Mexico or like other Latino countries. And I feel like that just shows how family oriented we are and just taking care of our elderly, And I feel like that's why I have, like, it's hard for me, not necessarily hard, but I feel like I kind of have mixed feelings about this topic because I understand why people do certain ways. Do I agree with it? No, but I understand why.
I understand your point. Because we are, as a community, we are very united. I feel like, and I feel like when we have like parties, any type of convivios, it's like your family's there. So I feel like that's how we perceive it. And also, I don't really see, I'm very close to my cousins. And I don't see that a lot with like when I would make any.
The American people,
Yeah,
American families.
they're not very like that.
Like, you don't even know. Like,
No.
I didn't even know you had a cousin.
And I'm like, I'm very close to my cousins. Like, sometimes I even consider them my siblings just because how we were brought up and how close we are. So I feel like that also has to play on sometimes when we want to try to protect them, even though they are in the wrong. And it is wrong.
Do you find it easy to speak up whenever they are in the wrong, whether it be cousins or other family members?
I feel like for me, I find it really hard because it's like you don't want to. I don't even know why. I just feel like it's just something in me that makes it hard for us to like. Well, for me to speak up, even though they are doing something really messed up, which I do, but I try to do it where in a different tone. It's because with my cousins, which I feel like that's also something not good. A mí luego me tachan de mala.
Really?
Yep. Que yo soy bien mala. And I don't think I'm being mean. I just think that the way I come off sometimes is very straightforward. And I don't really try to cover it up with like baby words sometimes. And I feel like por eso me tachan de mala. And then hearing it so much, I'm like, maybe I am being mala. Maybe I am doing wrong. But at the same time, I could see it as me standing up for, hey, you really fucked up there.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I also step back, because ya me tachan de mala, so just keep my mouth shut. Which I still don't.
Good. I was about to say good. Like,
No.
you shouldn't. Because I feel like that's the thing that I've learned in my short 28, 29 years of life here is like whenever you do set a boundary with people, especially when they've been pushing those boundaries for so long, and you set that boundary, you make them uncomfortable. And it's kind of like surprises them. And if they're not benefiting from that boundary, they automatically assume that you're being mean or you're being whatever, and that's not the case. And I feel like it's important to make sure that we do speak up. I'm curious though, because I know you said that it is hard. What makes it hard? Do you feel like it's like pressure because I know you said that, like they say certain words like that. But besides that, do you feel like you get pressure from other people or other sources to not say something or not do something? Or is it just you within yourself?
I think it's just me within myself, but at the same time, I always tell myself, I prefer me to tell them, hey, this is wrong, or tell them something, than having other people tell them and them actually being rude about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in a way, I am still protecting them. I'm still thinking so I'm still protecting them. But yeah. To what extent do you think you've gone to like help or like cover your family like in any situation?
In any situation.
When you know they're in the wrong.
See, that's the thing.
Or have you?
I feel like I don't really do that.
Really? That's
I don't
a good
really
thing.
do that. I don't do that. And maybe I am mala too, because like I'm not like I mean, people that probably know me, and I know I've said this in the podcast before, I'm kind of similar to you in like that, where like I can be very straightforward with people, and some people do not like that. But I feel like I can be like that. And I feel like if anything, I'm probably even harder on my family than I am on anybody else. Because like the way I see it is like if you're my family, you're supposed to be like my support system. You're supposed to be people that love me and care about me. I feel like my boundaries are a lot stricter on people that are close to me than people that are not. Because if like the way I think about it, like if you are an acquaintance, somebody that I barely see maybe 3-4 times out of the year, you're not really active in my life. Like there's not really like I'm just like, okay, not to say like I'm whatever about it, but like no me importa. Like, it's not as that serious to me because we're not close. Like, when's the next time I'm going to see you? Like, next year, like, obviously, if they're doing something like hella messed up, then but no, I feel like if anything, I'm harder on my family that they're closer to me. Like, if I see something that I don't know, que no me parece or something, like, I am quick to speak up, no matter who it is. And it's crazy because I actually have had like a falling out with my mom because of certain situations, and I don't. I feel like I even as a kid, like, if I saw an adult do something, and I feel like that's why I probably did get in trouble a lot because of that, because no me quedaba callada. Like, I was very outspoken, whoever it was. And I don't know where I get that from.
I think it just comes to some people.
Yeah, with just like personality traits. Because, no, I feel like I've never, not to say that I've, never been like that, but I can't think of an actual situation where like I did something to cover up for a family member like that, or at least something like a bad behavior that they were doing towards me or like someone else. What about you?
I think I have.
Do you mean, whenever you say speak up, do you mean like speak up towards them, like calling them out in something that they're doing?
Because I feel like how I already said, ya me tachan de mala, and then I'm just, and at the end of the day, sometimes they don't even listen. So it's like, is it worth it to keep on, just to keep on telling them when at the end of the day, they're still not going to listen? Even though I have tried, they're still not gonna take the advice I give them. They're just gonna, at the end of the day, feel like they just end up judging me more than they judge themselves for their actions.
Are those actions that like hinder you or like hurt you or other people around you? That's like toxic behavior?
I feel like it's just a cycle and it just keeps on going and going. But I feel like there's just so much I can do that they're just gonna keep on doing it.
I guess that's where I'm going at. Like, whenever stuff like that does happen, I guess to what extreme, because I'm big about like your peace, like your personal peace, and like how we said boundaries. And I feel like it is, you get more control as you get older, and you have like, you're more independent and you can choose where to be. Because as a kid, like, unfortunately, I was forced to be put in situations I did not want to be in, toxic situations. But it's hard as a kid, being a minor, like, I don't have a car, I can't drive, I can't get the heck out of here.
You have to listen to your mom says.
Yes, I can't just get up and move, across town or to a different state. I guess that's where, like, where I'm going with you. Like, to what extent, like, if it's costing you your peace, why does it keep happening? Is it something that's out of your control, like you're being put in certain situations, or is it something that you are allowing because of that pressure or societal norms,
I think I'm just very strong on like family, that I give them the benefit of the doubt, even though sometimes I shouldn't. But I don't know why. That's why I said in the beginning, I feel like family is very strong, especially in our culture. And I feel like that's why I'm like that. Maybe I'm blaming it on it, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like that's how most, people in our community think. Like, well, it's just my family. Like, what am I supposed to do? But then I go back to what I said, like, because they're your family, they're supposed to be the ones that care about you the most. They're not supposed to be voluntarily hurting you, like, that's supposed to be something that they value. If they value your relationship that you have as a family member, that person, or just, a loved one, that person is supposed to respect and care for you. And when that's not happening, is it even worth being around those people,
Mm-hmm.
regardless if it's, your family. Because I feel like as I've gotten older too, like family to me, it's not if we share the same blood.
Mm-hmm.
Family to me is who supports me, who respects me, who cares for me, who loves me,
Mm-hmm.
who's compassionate. Like those are that's family.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not giving me those characteristics, like I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my mom, my sister, like my family member. Like I don't care. Like we're supposed to bring that into, like, that's what family is about. And I feel like it is. I go back to how I said it at the beginning. Like it is hard because we do grow up in a way where we're supposed to just stay complicit and just allow for them to keep doing certain things. But like to what point? And I feel like I have gotten to this point quicker than others, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people will go most of their life and just allow and allow and allow. But I feel like I go back to me having PCOS. I feel like honestly, like hopefully it doesn't come off as being insensitive to people that do have or have been diagnosed with PCOS or any other, condition. But I feel like to me, like I'm trying to change how I see PCOS, at least how it impacted me in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing it as a blessing in disguise, because I feel like my health was at risk. My health was on the line. Right? And like, am I gonna allow someone to disturb my peace? Because with PCOS, like being in high levels of stress already, like that makes your, like that condition even worse, like your symptoms. So like, why am I going to allow this from this person? And it's costing literally my life, my livelihood, my health.
Mm-hmm.
So like literally for me, it forced me, like I felt like I was put into a wall entre la pared y la espada de la pared or whatever. Or like I had to act in what is more important. This relationship with somebody that keeps hurting me,
Mm-hmm.
or my health. And I feel like it kind of goes back to like when you're on a plane and people are doing like your safety rules, like the ¿cómo se llaman? Las hermosas, ¿cómo se llaman las? My mind just went blank in English. The people that work for the plane. I don't know what you call it.
My mind went blank.
Okay, it's not that important. The flight attendant is telling you, put your mask on first before you help other people. And I feel like in other words, the way I take that is take care of yourself first.
If you want to help other people.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself first, because if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you give back to anyone? How can you give back to anyone? If you're in a mental state where people are hurting you constantly, especially your family members.
But I feel like it's just a toxic trait it's hard to just get over with. It's not that easy. I feel like for me it's a little bit different compared to you.
How so?
Huh?
How so?
I don't know. It's like I always want to try to see I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt and try to see their good. Try to always see their good side. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. But it's not even once. I give them multiple times. And it's bad. But I don't know. I just always try to always give them the benefit of the doubt. And especially when it comes to family, because I'm like, oh, I know them. They wouldn't do that. And I feel like that's where it comes from too. And you just keep on doing it and keep on doing it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I also get it why and why it's bad.
Yep.
But it's just hard to break from that toxic trait. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like sometimes you're kind of forced into situations where you have to pick yourself before you can allow other things to happen or more things to happen. And unfortunately, we all learn at different paces. And I feel like that happens, and it's sad because I feel like I see it a lot too with like other family dynamics where the mother will stay, like say it's a family dynamic and the mother chooses to stay with her husband, the father of her kids, just because, pues, ¿Cómo van a crecer sin padre? Like, how are they going to grow up without a father? And, like, to me, that's so toxic, too, because I feel like we worry too much on what people are going to say, but do people pay your bills?
No.
And that's my thing, too. And I feel like even that conversation, too, like, oh, growing up without a father, those kids, and that if you decide to separate in that moment from that toxic person, in that moment, your kids are probably not going to understand, especially if they're little. They're not going to understand. But I feel like as they're older and their brains can be more developed and they can
see what's going on.
Exactly. Fully and be more transparent with them, they'll come around.
Yeah.
They'll come around. And it's sad because that's another thing too with our like Latino households that you see that a lot where like females will stay with their partner for even if they're cheating, even though if they're, abusing physically, emotionally, mentally. And it's sad because that generation that literally just keeps going because now those kids have grown up with that example that it's okay to treat a female like that or treat any person like that. Those kids now are more probable to grow up and repeat those same patterns. And I feel like that's kind of how I see it too, is like if I were to be teaching my child self-respect, am I being a good example for them? By allowing certain family members, certain people that care about me to keep on disrespecting me, keep on doing certain toxic traits, because it's not even about like care or disrespect. Like we said, there's abuse. And I feel like, I don't know, because my mom has told me I'm too Americanada, I'm too Americanized. And it's sad that she sees it that way, right? Because setting boundaries should be something that we all do. Something like self-respect, that's something that we should all have within ourselves. I feel like from what I'm understanding is like if they contribute to your life in some way, like having each other's back. But like to what extent? Like if that person is contributing to your life, awesome. That's a hella healthy dynamic. But when that person is taking away from your life, whether it be peace, whether it be, and that can look in so many different ways financially, like so many different ways. Is that actually somebody you want around in your life? I know you mentioned that it's hard for you to speak up when it comes to like certain situations that do flare up in your dynamic as far as like family and protecting them or allowing it to happen to a certain extent. What do you feel like are steps that we can practice?
Like setting boundaries?
To not allow that stuff to happen, because I feel like I'm so big on, okay, we all mess up, right? I'm so big on that. We're humans. We're bound to mess up in the past, present, and the future. I know that. But when it becomes a pattern and it's the same thing after, because I'm like I said, I'm big. If you do something to hurt me, like you said, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't know where you are mentally right now. I don't know if a lot is going on right now. Okay, I'll speak up. Like, hey, I did not like this X, Y, and Z. Right? That's me speaking up and making it known. Because sometimes a person may not even know that they're doing something bad or they're doing something hurtful. Right? So communication to me, I feel like that's always something that I like to do. And setting that boundary. What does that look like for you? Because I know you said it's hard, but do you strive to be at a better point where you have a healthier dynamic with family members? And if so, what do those steps look like? What in action,
For me, I feel like even though this might be a bad thing, even though they have messed up once, I try to look towards like their good side. Like, let's say family, I am like, I know them, I know they wouldn't do that.
But they do.
They do. But at the same time, I'm like, I know this different version of them than other people do. And then I'm like, well, and I always try to see their good side, and I give them a chance again, and they mess it up, and then I'm just like, but they covering it up again. I'm like, but they might change. They might change. And they end up doing it again and again. But I feel like it's very hard for me to I feel like for me I just always want to see the good side of that person, and I feel like that's why I don't want to admit it, which is bad, but it's just something about me where I just like always want to see the good side of that person, and maybe they can change, maybe they will. And yeah.
That's such a beautiful trait to have. It's such a beautiful trait to have, Cruz.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful trait because it is like you're being such a good person. And I know that me saying that doesn't even like bring the depth to how strongly that is, or like, like it comes from a really, really good part. Like it comes from a good part of inside of you. I loved that trait about you, but honestly that worries me about you, Cruz.
Mm-hmm. No, and I see where I go from crying to laughing. I'm crazy. No, but I see where it's toxic. But I feel like
I wouldn't necessarily say it's toxic, but that
it can become toxic.
It gives space for a lot of disappointment, a lot of hurt.
Yeah.
Because how we are, I consider ourselves pretty genuine and good people with good morals. The universe, this world is huge. It's huge. And people do not think the way we do.
Mm-mm.
People would not think twice about doing you dirty.
Mm-hmm.
About throwing you under the bus. About giving you the short end of the stick. Like, people will not think twice, regardless if it's family or not.
And you know what's crazy? Even though family has done that to me, I still haven't changed. I know it makes you like that. I know. It's because I don't know.
Oh.
See, this is why I'm like, you're on a different page than I am. Like,
we all,
because we're that's just how different we are, and how like, I don't know. That's just the way I.
You know what though? It's sad because I feel like that's the reality of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my thing is because a lot of people know, I feel like they're at a point where you're at, where it's like, we know that this shit's toxic and that these behaviors are unacceptable or whatever circumstance you might be in. I feel like a lot of people get to that point a lot sooner than later,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I feel like that's where people get stuck. Because I know what my question originally was to you is like, okay, like we know that when it comes to certain situations, it is hard for you to speak up. But I guess my thing is, and the reason I'm saying this is because listeners are in a situation where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would help you to get to a point where you can establish those boundaries, where you can put yourself first? What is that what does that look like for you in your space?
Mm-hmm. I feel like on the long run for me, I feel like I think it has to start with me working on myself first, on me setting boundaries on myself, and then eventually setting boundaries to others, because I have to first stop myself before I can get to that point.
You're a good person. And it sucks because I feel like I see that in a lot of really good people. And I'm just like, to what extent, like, to how far, like, does it have to be where it costs someone's life? whether it be someone literally killing someone or whether it be someone's health deteriorating. I can't say that word. Like, to what extent? Y va un dicho, está un dicho en español, a las culebras se le tienen que dar en la cabeza.
Para que
I
se
know,
mueran.
yeah, and that sounds harsh, but it's true. And obviously you don't go and kill someone, but it's like you go straight, you were very direct, go straight to the point and cut that shit out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, if you only cut the tail, oh, but maybe they'll grow back into being a really good person.
Mm-hmm.
People can change, but when they've shown you who they are, when they've shown you consistently who they are,
Mm-hmm.
believe them. And I say that just because I've been through certain stuff. And yeah. And again, it's easier said than done, but
yeah, I see where it's like we're sheltered,
which is good and bad though, because I feel like parents naturally or families naturally want to protect their young and their kids and stuff. But at the end of the day, and I had a hard time kind of agreeing with this with Darian at first, but he has a good point. I'd rather me be upfront and straightforward and be considered mean to my child or to my relative or whatever, to my young siblings, than having the world do it to them. Because the world is not going to have no remorse. And I'd rather me expose you to the reality of things so I can explain to you and I can show you and I can share with you my knowledge and stuff, coming from a compassionate, loving side or energy or whatever, how you want to say it, than having someone else do it and
destroying them.
Yep.
I feel like talking about this, it kind of made me it kind of opened me up and kind of made me see a different type of view than what I had before I even came in here. And
How?
Because I feel like before I came here, I kind of felt like I was like yes, before I even came in here, I was like, maybe I'm not that bad at like covering up for my family. Like it's normal to do it, and which it really isn't. And it kind of made me see it, how toxic it really can get, or it is. And I feel like it was an eye opener to me because it showed me how I need to work on myself so I can start setting those boundaries to other people. So that's why before I got here it was different than to what my final opinion is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely easier said than done for sure. And I feel like the important thing is just taking accountability for our own actions, because people will push to what you allow them to push. And I feel like you're right. I feel like it does start with putting boundaries and being your own advocate. Being your own advocate, speaking up for yourself, because the world is a harsh place. And how I said before, people will not think twice to screw you over, regardless of their family. You would think because they're family, they wouldn't. But unfortunately, a lot of unhealed people cause a lot of hurt because they're hurt themselves. So, and again, that looks like from, just toxic behaviors within our family, all the way to the extreme with crimes where literally people will be protecting and defending their families, even though the evidence is right there, clear as day. And I feel like it is, it's really important. I feel like I really hope that you guys, whenever you guys listen to this episode, that is just, thought-provoking and makes you look within your life to see if there are things that you do want to clean up in your own personal life. Because it's not worth it. This life is a very short life that we live. And it's not worth spending your energy and your time and your presence with people that do not support and love you. because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your health. That was my main thing for me, is my health.
Peace.
Your wallet. Some people will try to mooch off of you too. So I know we kind of had already titled this episode like family over everything. Family is not over everything. That's my take. Peace is over everything for me. My peace comes first. And yeah, I know this was probably a very heavy topic. But that is what I hope that you guys take away from this episode. Yeah. What about you? It's because normally I say
and then I
my
say
bad.
it. And it's okay.
Well, do you have anything else to add, crew?
No, I think at the end of the day, it's very important to have our own peace. So.
Whatever that may look like for you.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. If so, don't forget to like and share. Let us know of any ideas or topic suggestions down in the comments below. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.